Good morning. It is great to see you here again this morning. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke in a meditation on the power of blessing. And I hope this morning that as you might be just waking up and getting your day started, that you truly do feel that you are walking on a blessed path today. It got me thinking about blessing and what are blessings? And quite often we think that blessings are those things when everything is going right, when everything is going our way, and kind of when our purposes align themselves with God's purposes. However, this time of COVID-19 has made us realize that there are times when we haven't felt blessed. In fact, we've probably, more than anything else, many of us just felt downright inconvenienced. Summer plans have been canceled. We haven't been able to see our loved ones. We haven't been able to get out and about to the theater or the cinema or go to restaurants. It just seems like a big inconvenience in our lives. Of course, at this point, one wants to think that there are about the many people whose lives really have truly been interrupted and upset by this time of COVID-19. I'm especially thinking of those who have lost jobs, whose future has become uncertain. I think about those, of course, who have been affected, who have had COVID-19. People have lost loved ones. People have had seen some lasting effects of having COVID-19, and there are many who this time has really seriously affected. But maybe today I'm just speaking for the majority of us who it just feels like a bit of an inconvenience, or more than a bit of an inconvenience. And I began to think maybe this time is a time of blessing for us, and that maybe we should be looking for the blessings in each of these days. I have always been interested in the concept of Sabbath, the whole idea coming from the Jewish tradition that on the seventh day everyone rests. And growing up in Toronto, I had some contact with the Jewish community, and I remember visiting when my father was in Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto and going to visit on a Saturday. And there was an elevator that was a Sabbath elevator because Jewish people can't command work on the Sabbath. They're not allowed to press the button for an elevator. And so there was an elevator that was programmed the night before, and it would stop at every floor. There are Jewish communities that have grown larger than the amount of distance that perhaps one might have to travel to get to the synagogue. The Hebrew scriptures allow for people to travel within an enclosed structure and at any great distance. And so many Jewish communities have a wire that runs around the outside of the community, primarily in Israel, and so that people can travel within that enclosed area. While some of these customs might seem very different to us, and we wonder about their place in one's spirituality, I think what they do point out to me is the seriousness by which Orthodox and conservative Jewish people keep the Sabbath. I remember growing up in Toronto in the 1960s, 1970s, and the everybody sort of went to church in our suburban neighborhood on a Sunday. The Sunday school I attended at one point had 300 children in it, and today that church is on the brink of existence with very few children. We think of how stores were closed on Sunday, and I remember that as children we were not allowed to go to movies on Sundays. There were certain activities that we could do because my parents believed in keeping the Sabbath as a family. However, we all know that today things are very, very different. And many families, are involved in soccer and sports when we were allowed to be involved in those things. And we do shopping on the Sabbath. We go out and do other things, and it's just how our society and perhaps our understanding of keeping the Sabbath has changed. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, how do you keep the Sabbath? How do you honor a time to just dwell upon your spirituality and your faith and your relationship with God? And the second thing I'd like to suggest to you is that perhaps what we need to do when we feel inconvenienced by the COVID-19 is to maybe think of this time as a little bit of a Sabbath, a bit of a pause in our lives when we can do things that we normally wouldn't have had time to do. I've heard of people who are doing reading that they've always wished they had time to do. They're playing jigsaw puzzles. They're taking time to learn how to bake bread, or time to do painting. People have even told me, they're taking time. They have more time to clean the house, which is resulting in a better environment for them. Sabbath doesn't mean to just put down and stop everything. I think Sabbath is something deeper. It is getting to the roots of who we are and just taking time to reflect. And in the midst of what was a very busy and hectic schedule in our lives, is just to pause and reflect, to gather our breath. And maybe that is the blessing of this time. I always believe that every cloud does have a silver lining, and maybe that is one of the silver linings of this time, an occasion for us to just pause and reflect. I'm going to play for you now another one of the choirs from this time from Nigeria, and it's the Nigerian blessing. And I will just close with that, wishing you God's blessings for today.
The Lord bless you and keep you.
Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
The Lord turn his face toward you
and give you peace.
The Lord bless you and keep you.
Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
The Lord turn his face toward you
And give you peace. Aye, aye. Amen. Amen. Roko Brui Okoa, Oseroa, Ojo Paroya Loa, Onarudo Eroa, Roko South of Harai, Koa, Rokoa Ukwoma.
O Safian Bwe, Baorewe, Norupa wo Denyawe, no Ramewe no Madawe, O Samoa o Oredawe, no Riofun Regbenue.
Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu,
Chukwu gọzie gị, debe gị.
Mekairu ya mukwasị gị, mekwara gị amara.
Chigairu ya n'ebe ị nọ.
Manye gị o.
Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger.
On the day of Elu, she akura. Aeshina kiwange shawe azungu honum on the day of it. Ishina shawe anaubem.
Wangiji ya samaku albarka yakia yeku. Wangiji ya safas karsa tahaska kaku yahimaku algeri. Wangiji ya dubeku idanura ya baku salama. I know, dog we are doing I know, dog we are still I know, biggest dog we are still I know.
Ní báyìí mo súre fún ọ wípé kí Olúwa kí ó bùkún fún ọ kí ó sì pa ọmọ ní ọ̀nà rẹ gbogbo. Kí Olúwa kí ó mú ojú rẹ̀ kí ó mọ́lẹ̀ sí ọ lára. Kí Olúwa kí ó ṣàánú fún ọ. Kí Olúwa kó bojú wò ọ́ láti òkè wá. Kí ó sì fún ọ ní àlàáfíà. Àlàáfíà nínú àgọ́ ara rẹ. Àlàáfíà nínú ilé rẹ. Àlàáfíà fún ọ nígbà tí o bá jáde. Ìsinmi fún ọ nígbà tí o bá wọlé dé. Kí ojú rere Olúwa kí ó máa bá ọ gbé láti ìran dé ìran. Lórí ẹbí rẹ àti ará rẹ àti àwọn ọmọ rẹ dé ọmọ ọmọ rẹ àti ọmọ 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 rẹ ní orúkọ Jésù ni mo pa á láṣẹ.
Plateau, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, Zamfara.
May your blessings be upon our land. May the Father cause His face to shine upon us. May His blessings be upon as He covers and He carries you. May His favor be upon you. May His blessings never leave us. May His favor shine upon us. May He give us peace.
Emana, if I'm leaving, getting done for, getting done more, getting done done.
I'm not tall, giving us me, Kulumala, Iyawana, Ifurona, Iyawana, Ifurona, Iyawana.
Maybe more say, Similafa, the Serila. In the bese, in a woman,
Proclaim